Hey, this is Mark watching MTC Media, and welcome to the latest episode of So Long Tobacco Road. Well, what a difference a year makes. Hubert Davis and the Tar Heels look like a cohesive unit instead of a bunch of individuals this season. After starting off the ACC season with a win at home against NC State against Florida State, the Tar Heels knew that when they got to January, they would have three straight ACC games on the road. And the first two, they've won in impressive fashion. They went up the pit, got a win. This past weekend, they got a win at Clemson. Up next, their rivals, at least this was their true rival when I was growing up, NC State next in Raleigh. The two things that stand out to me that's different about the Tar Heels this year than last year is first, Davis's ability, Hubert Davis's ability to get probably players that fit more of what he wants out of the portal. When you're talking about Harrison Ingram and Carmack Ryan, both of those guys have been starters, and Ingram has probably been the best one he's gotten out the portal this year. And then you have Jalen Withers and Paxton Wojcik, and they've contributed at times, certainly not the way Ingram or even Ryan has contributed. And the second thing is freshmen. It looked like Hubert didn't want to play any of the freshmen last year. This year, Elliot Cadeau has been the starting point guard, and he's brought almost some sort of civility to the offense. It allows RJ Davis, I think, to be even more patient. When you think about it, he's been more patient with his shots. You just can't look at the shot attempts. I think there's been less hunting. I think because there's been a true point guard getting into the gaps, the mentality isn't, oh, well, Davis or Love are going to be looking to take this, and then people crowd and they do all those things. And because neither one of them really attack the basket on a consistent basis, you would force them to put the ball on the floor, and then you just jam up the gaps. But with Cadeau, he is a true, what people think of in today's age as a traditional point guard. He's been able to set guys up, especially with Davis. And I think that's why Davis has been more patient in his shot attempts this season. Now, of late, especially once we've gotten to the ACC season, Cadeau has gotten into foul trouble. And that's something that he's going to have to work on. But Seth Trimble, almost like a forgotten young guy, has come in and at times has shown you why they brought him to Chapel Hill. So when you look at it, you have a freshman contributing, and you did a better job at the portal. I think that has certainly helped out. Hubert Davis is why North Carolina looks a lot better this season than what they did last season. Hey, to catch all of my content, go to our social media handles. They're all MTC with Mook. That's on Twitter/X. That's on Threads, IG. Just all of it's the same, my man. So go in there. Please subscribe. Also, as always, our content at the website, mtcwithmook.com. So Virginia has looked like themselves on defense, believe it or not, for the most part. We'll get to that later. And they have looked extremely limited on offense, and that's equated to an 11-4 record, 2-2 overall. The thing that I think has jumped up about the Cavaliers is that in true road games, they're 0-3, and they've lost every last one of them by double digits. And I think that's where the concern is, and that's where that consternation is with how they're playing. And why some people have said that right now UVA isn't what their record says it is. And I think there's a few things going on with this. Remember last year, and I brought this up before, Katie Clark was there. And again, just like I spoke about Elliot Cadeau, to have a guy like that who's going to defend his position, who's going to get guys the ball in the right spots, and then to make a shot when he needs to make a shot. And let's be honest, guys like Beekman had more talent around them last year too. But the losses to Memphis, Notre Dame, and NC State just have come in a way that I don't think people feel very comfortable with, especially when you consider NC State shot 62% on 2-pointers the other night, and almost 36% from three. Now those are un-UVA like numbers. But here's what I'll say: if you're a UVA fan, why, if you squint really, really hard, you saw some things that you wanted to see out of that game that is sustainable going forward, which is in the loss on offense. Beekman, McNeely, and all-important Ryan Dunn were all productive on the offensive end of the floor. And you know with Virginia's defense, you're not going to see those 62% numbers from two very, very often. If those guys, Beekman, McNeely, Dunn, if they are consistent on the offensive end, doesn't mean they have to score a million points. Just because, and Beekman's going to be, because everything runs through him. If they can just be consistent on the offensive end, and then you get Dunn and Rhodey to pick it up. Dunn's effort got to be every game too. Now what we're talking about is the Virginia offense is now capable, and that defense is always going to be there on most nights. Now we're not having this conversation anymore. So if you're a UVA fan, relax. I think ultimately Virginia will be fine. Well, thank you for joining us for our episode of So Long Tobacco Road. Again, you can catch all our content at mtcwithmook.com. Have a good day.